Detroit Den 313. We are back, Stephen Will, talking that Detroit Lions football. Before we get started, you know what to do. Bang that subscribe button. Don't forget the bell icon so you don't miss any of our new content. Steve, talk to the people, please.
William, do you know what I want more than anything?
What's that?
Careful taking this drink. I'll just tell you that I want that luxury back of going into the draft and just not having a care in the world. Brad Holmes, roll the dice, do whatever you want, sign whoever you want, draft whoever you want, trade up for wherever you want, trade back. I don't care. If the Detroit Lions can sign Tyler Boyd, I think we would have that luxury back. How do you feel about TB?
Well, I don't think that we would have that luxury because I still want an edge rusher, but I feel great about Tyler Boyd. I feel I think he's a beast, man. He's a guy that's still out there. Well, he's one of the guys. There's one other guy, but he's a defender, so we won't get into that today. Well, I'm sure we'll be doing an episode down the road, but um, he's the offensive guy that I want that's still out there. He's a guy that I think fits exactly what we talked about in Jalen Pope, in a sense of a guy that's going to be okay with being Robin, a guy that's going to be okay with playing a supporting role, a guy that's going to be okay with not being the featured guy in the offense, but is going to be very, very productive. Tyler Boyd is a guy who has multiple 1,000 yards receiving seasons under his belt, and he also has quite a few that were close to 1,000 yards. And he was fighting for footballs out there with Joe Mixon, right? Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. So being able to have that production fighting for footballs, it's just something, man, that you know that he is a great football player. He's on the back half of his career. Steve, I got a question for you immediately.
Well, first and foremost, real quick,
Go ahead.
I think Tyler Boyd, you said he'd have to be okay with being Robin.
Yeah.
He might have to be okay with being Alfred in this situation because
Yeah.
we got some footballs that we got to throw around too with, we got JMO, who I think desperately needs to get more touches. I've been preaching that for a long time.
Yeah.
Amon St. Brown's going to go out and get his. Sam Laporta is going to get his. We got touches. We're talking just touches. It doesn't have to be in the passing game, but Jahmyr Gibbs, like to see him more in the passing game as well, but he's going to touch the football. David Montgomery is going to touch the football. Mm-hmm. Tyler Boyd's going to have to be okay with being that third, maybe fourth option, but that's just how I feel. So what was your question?
My question is this, and that kind of even leads more into it. Tyler Boyd, his pedigree, his resume is going to require you to pay him between $9 and $10 million a season. Are you okay with that?
I'll follow it up with I'll answer the question with the question: is he better than Josh Reynolds, who got $7 million? I would say yes. So I think if I got to pay him $2 million more to fix not a huge problem, but it's not a problem, but it fixes what we lost in Josh Reynolds and Brock Wright. We need touches. We need guys who can catch the ball. I think he could fit that role, and he would be an upgrade from Josh Reynolds. So if you're going to upgrade, you got to pay him a little bit more. So yes, I would be okay with paying him that. Plus, we lost, that we got that money back from Cam Sutton, so we're sitting pretty good financially.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I'm a little bit confused with the money situation. I thought that we still had to appeal and go through the process to see, but whatever. We'll leave that for another day. But Josh Reynolds, his contract was up to $7 million. So I would be okay with up to $9 million or up to $10 million. If the numbers say that we should pay you $10 million, then fine. Otherwise, you're going to get 6 or, 7. If you're a Jag, as Steve Smith says, just a guy that was out there, you know what I mean, attracting defenders but not making plays. So if that's the case, where they do an incentive-based contract where you got to produce to get all of your money, I would be cool with that. But I don't want to pay this guy $10 million, man. And we're still trying to figure out Jared Goff and Amon-Ra St. Brown. I do love the guy, but I don't want to deal with any guaranteed contracts. And there's a lot of interest out there. I've seen the Kansas City Chiefs are very interested in him, and he's got some other guys that he's going on visits to. So there could potentially be a bidding war going on out there. I just don't want to overpay, and it's not something that I'm worried about because I know Brad won't. Brad has his number that he's cool with, and that's what it'll be. But I just can't see us paying him $10 million.
Let me fire a question at you.
Talk to me.
You said the Kansas City Chiefs are interested in him?
Yes.
Do you think that's where Rashee Rice was driving to go pick up Tyler Boyd from the airport when he crashed his Corvette?
I can't stand you. I can't stand-
Do you think that's where he was headed?
I'm not touching that even with my pen. Just no, I'm not. I'm not touching that. No.
But going back to Tyler Boyd, I like everything you said about how he was productive with the Bengals. Before Jamar Chase got there, he was a 1,000-yard receiver.
Mhm.
Like you said, Jamar Chase got drafted. He was still knocking on the door. I'm looking at the stats now. 2020, 840 yards, 828, 7. It slowly started to decline, but he was still getting targeted. 98 targets just last year. So he's kind of, he's a guy who gets open.
Yeah.
He's a guy that Joe Burrow trusted. I think he'd be a very, very nice fit with Detroit. And it solves that problem of production. Like I said, we lost Josh Reynolds, we lost Brock Wright. That's 54 catches that we need to make up for. I'm looking at Boyd's stats from last year. He had 67 catches. So automatically, I think even if he dips a little bit more, we still make up for it in that production. The real question is just going to come down to dollars. How much is it going to cost? When can we get him? Is there a bidding war? Because I think 9 would probably be my absolute max. I just want to get something figured out. And he's the last guy. Him and Stephon Gilmore are the only two out there that are free agents right now that I'm kind of still looking at for the Lions. But I'm kind of starting to feel like maybe nothing's going to happen with those two until after the draft. So I'm just kind of sitting in the boat rowing by myself thinking if we can go out and sign one of those two, we can get that luxury back of, hey, it's draft day. Go get me an edge rusher. That's really all we need.
Yeah.
Like end of story. Jared Verse, trade up, get Jared Verse. I'm not even probably going to watch the rest of the draft because I just don't even care. We just got to, our team is complete. Now I'm kidding, of course, but you get what I'm saying.
I get what you're saying. I'm looking at some stats, man, and I'm wondering how the Detroit Lions feel about this. And that's Donovan Peoples-Jones, man, because in 2022, 61 receptions, 839 yards, 3 tutties. Season before that, 34 receptions, 500, almost 600 yards, and 3 tutties. Are the Detroit Lions looking at Donovan Peoples-Jones as somebody that can really contribute to this team? Would you be surprised if they push Donovan Peoples-Jones into that Josh Reynolds role, don't draft a receiver, we maybe get an interior lineman, or we go with the edge rusher and cornerback positions, and we go into the seasons with Donovan Peoples-Jones? I guess really what the question is, do you think that he has enough to hold down that X position?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Do I think he can? Yes. But if Xavier Leggett is staring me in the face at pick 29, I don't know that I can say no to him.
Yeah.
Unless there's like some defensive studs that are on my board that are still there. So it really depends for me. And that's what kind of sucks at picking at pick 29 is we don't know for sure who's going to be there. Where the Lions have picked in the top 10, 15 or whatever for so many years, we had a better idea of like kind of who was going to be available.
Yeah.
Now we have no idea. We have no idea who's trading up. We have no idea who's fallen. We have no idea who's going to be the wild card that gets drafted. Is there going to be a running back that gets picked in there somewhere and makes someone fall? A lot of things are going to happen. We haven't been in this situation in a long time. So it's really hard to say. But if we don't get a receiver in the first 2 rounds, I think that's probably the direction we're going in, is Brad's probably going to put his faith in Donovan Peoples-Jones. And that's conversations that he's probably had with Ben Johnson and Dan Campbell.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how do you guys feel about this? And if they've all signed off on it, I got to buy in, right?
Yeah, true. I just look at it. I think that it's great that we traded for him because it gave us an opportunity to be able to see him before this season. So instead of him coming in as a free agent signee, in the offseason and us not getting hands-on practices and seeing what he can do. But that's what I'm looking for, because to me, if they draft a wide receiver early, to me, that's going to tell me that maybe they don't believe in DPJ like they had hoped when they got him. Or if they don't, I think it will be making a statement. Hey, DPJ's got what we need. It's not even necessarily a position of need for us. And we're looking at other places in this draft to enhance this team. I'm rooting for him. I will say that. Hometown guy, Michigan guy, Detroit kid. It would be exciting to see him step into a major role. He's only 25 years old too. So hopefully, we talk about all these receivers, man. We talk about these sexy picks. We talk about all of these guys and all the cool things that we can do, that they can do. But this is a guy who has produced a little bit. He's had some questionable quarterback play throughout his time.
His quarterbacks have not been very, like, he had like 1 or 2 good years with Baker Mayfield, and that's end of list.
Yeah. So If he gets a solid quarterback like Jared Goff, and maybe he can be productive in this league, and maybe he showed some things at practice last year that we don't know about. Yet remains to be seen. But he's also somebody too that I think that can contribute into that return game too with that new return rule. So he's a guy that I'm kind of looking out for. What route will we end up going? Will it be us grabbing a guy like Tyler Boyd, or us drafting somebody, or is DPJ going to step into a major role and show out for the home squad, man? Show out for the people.
Just real quick, you know what I do is I predict the future. Someone's going to ask about Antoine Green. Yeah. What about Antoine Green? Can he play that big receiver? How do you feel about him? Just real quick.
Yeah, Antoine Green, man, is another one. When you talk about the Pajama Olympics, when you talk about the size and the measurables, he's got all of that. But it kind of reminds me of Walker, man, coming out of his alma mater. He has also got all of the tools. Dude ran a 4.3. He's a big guy, but was he at the Senior Bowl or what? Oh, he was the one getting locked up at the Senior Bowl. So I mean, it's tough, man. I think that the potential is there, but for whatever reason, it just doesn't seem to be coming onto the football field. So I think that he's going to get another opportunity this year, and hopefully he can make a step forward. But if not, man, I think he's going to be one of those NFL guys, one of those not for long guys. You got your opportunity to produce, and we move on. So I think this is going to be a make it or break it training camp for him.
I think he's going to be a PS guy.
What's that?
Either he's going to be playing PlayStation or he's going to be on the practice squad. I don't know which one's going to happen.
Yeah.
So I'm not willing to wager the Detroit Lions wide receiver room and say that Antoine Green is going to be like a breakout player. I don't. I think we kind of know what we have with them. It's not. I'm trying to be nice, but it's just not. It's not it for me. I'll just say that. I think Donovan Peoples-Jones is way more likely to step in. He's a former 5-star recruit, one of the highest offensive recruits that go to the University of Michigan, who is a very, very run-heavy team. So he wasn't really featured a lot, but all the skill was there, all the athleticism, and that's what the Cleveland Browns saw. Yep. And it's broken out a couple times. Now, like you said, if he comes here, better quarterback play, doesn't have to be the guy. He was kind of the guy for a minute until they got Amari Cooper and Odell Beckham Jr. left. So he doesn't have to be the guy. He never has been, probably never will be, but he can be a very, very nice piece for us.
Yeah. Come on and put on for the city, DPJ. Let's go, man.
I cheer for him. I didn't overly love the trade when we traded for him, just because I was like, everyone wanted a defensive end or something on defense, and we got a wide receiver. So it's kind of like a little underwhelming, but it's nothing against DPJ. We love him, Michigan kid. But, I think he could be the guy, and we'll find out after the draft what Brad Holmes wants to do.
Sure will.
So, guys, leave it in the comments down below. Let us know how you feel about Tyler Boyd. Let us know who you think could step in and take that other receiver position. We got a little training camp battle we might be gearing up for if we draft someone. It's going to be interesting to watch. So leave some comments, hit that like button. If you're new, stick around, subscribe, and don't forget to be a member. We're about to do a giveaway here very, very soon. Just think about it. We'll be back later with some more content, guys.
Peace.